You know, they always say, sure, please stick to policy, don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy?
Former President Donald Trump calling out the people telling him to focus on policy over personal attacks and pointing directly at Democrats. They've been attacking him throughout the Democratic National Convention.
We're going to defeat Donald Trump, the career criminal and incorrigible recidivist con man.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago.
Trump is rich in only one thing: stupidity.
Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial.
Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets and greasing the palms of his Wall Street friends.
What you talk about when you don't have policy. Trump has been mentioned 314 times over the first 3 nights of the DNC this week. And conservative commentator Scott Jennings says this.
The gap that I still see in all these speeches, as good as they were, is that she's in the White House right now. How do you explain all of the problems that will be solved by the person who is currently in there for the last 3.5 years, who is supposed to already be working on solving it?
The Kamala Harris campaign does not have a policy page on the website, so the Trump team created one of their own about her policies. There are 9 policies listed, including more Bidenomics, more taxes, abolish border, and bringing back the Green New Deal. 32 days and counting since Vice President Harris announced her candidacy and has not held a formal news conference or sit down for an interview. Power panel now, Guy Benson, Fox News contributor, and David Carlucci, Democratic former New York State Senator. Great to see you. We have a lot to get to. Let's just start with 32 days. And what we haven't seen some of now is Kamala Harris, because she's been gone for 2 days from her very own convention. Your thoughts?
Well, in 32 days, Kamala Harris has accomplished more than it took Donald Trump almost 3 years to do in terms of a platform. We saw the policy platform that the Trump campaign put out attacking Kamala Harris. They're spending more time on Kamala Harris's platform than they are their own. Donald Trump, it's still ambiguous on many issues. We heard early this morning, well, abortion, for example.
He's at the border today. I think we're clear on that.
Well, the border, even that.
Abortion, he
all
says,
Donald Trump has said.
Exceptions.
All Donald Trump has said is that the Biden-Harris administration overturned their executive orders. That was done by the courts. Title 42, remain in Mexico. It takes 2 to tango. You need Mexico. And they have actually done something.
You think Mexico is helping us fight the cartels now?
Well, we need their participation.
No.
Biden and Harris got rid of remain in Mexico. That was not a court. That was
with Mexico's decision. We were paying them billions of dollars to do that.
Biden got rid of it on day one. Biden got rid of it on day one. It was a successful policy. Trump has a bunch of policies. You can disagree with them.
Well, what are they?
What they are.
What are they?
How much time do you have? Reinstate remain in Mexico. Reinstate the third-party country.
But that's something that takes Mexico's agreement to do, and it costs us billions of dollars. Title 42. How is he going to do that? The courts have said you can't do that. That is a COVID-era
courts
restriction.
have said you can't bail out student loans.
What we can
Biden's doing that.
What we can do is get bipartisan legislation passed through Congress, but Trump has refused to do that.
Look. He tried, and
no, he didn't. He put his thumb on it.
But
Donald Trump said no.
So
when we had an opportunity, he said no.
Here's what I want to remind you. Donald Trump was president already for 4 years. You may have forgotten, but he was president, so he has a record and he has policies. And you may disagree with those policies. You may think he's being strategically ambiguous on some of his policies right now. Fine. But something that he does do is take lots and lots of questions on all sorts of subjects, including his policies. So when journalists have curiosities, they can ask him about it.
He says they're stupid questions.
He
takes it from friendly audiences. He's excluded PBS from his recent press conference.
He talks to everyone.
He goes to his country club, and he stands outside his country clubs, which cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to join, and says he's relating to the American people. And he doesn't even talk about economic policy.
Irrelevant detail.
It's not irrelevant. When he actually...
you're deflecting to something completely different.
I'm not deflecting. I'm talking exactly what we're talking about.
Let me jump in here, gentlemen. And if you want to show tickets about who's richer, J.B. Pritzker going after Trump is about as rich as it gets. You want to talk about hypocrisy? He's an equal in the scope of things billionaire. He's got close to 4. Reports
I agree.
that Trump's got that same amount. So all of that is Guy, I think, is trying to say. That has nothing to do with America knows who these men are. They know that they've gotten there. Trump is the American.
Right. That's why Trump, I think, is falling into the trap again. His advisors are trying to tell him, look, Trump, don't make the personal attacks. Stay on message. Try to talk about the platform. He won't do it. He says, look, I want to be nasty. I want to be mean. I want to take it personal.
We
has said
had the
that.
soundbite. He did not say that yesterday.
He has said things like that. He said, look.
He took a hands-in-the-air poll of what people wanted him to talk about. He said, my advisors are saying staying on policy.
Hey, I hope he listens to that hands-up poll.
After a woman nearly passed out in the crowd and he saw to her and got her a doctor, he turned around and got right back on message. I mean, if you're going to criticize
his message is attacking
at least
Kamala
take time
Harris
on your
personally.
watch to watch him when he's live, which is a lot. He's in battleground states. You should care. Guy.
My point was that he takes questions regularly. He does interviews regularly. She has not done a single one since she became the nominee. Let me just make one point uninterrupted, please. Thank you. She's been in this race effectively for a month. Okay. 0 interviews. That's the point that I'm making. Second point I'll make is I wish he did some things differently. I think a lot of Republicans are constantly saying he should be more disciplined, focus on the issues on which he had polling leads instead of some of this other stuff that you're talking about. I think that's fair. As for the attacks against him here, look, it's a political season. You go after your opponent. What I have not heard, maybe
I've got to wrap you both.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.